Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. And today we're just gonna be talking about my thoughts after having moved out at 19. So the reason why I want to talk about this topic is because I saw one of my good friends on Twitter. His name's Adi Singh. If you're watching this, Adi, shout out to you, bro. Bumped into one of your videos literally just before this, and I got inspired because you made the same exact video talking about how you moved out at 19. So I'm gonna talk about it today. I'm paying homage. And yeah, I think basically, long story short, I moved from the UK to Thailand. I moved out and I was 19 years old. This was in March 2023. My birthday is in April. So just before my birthday, my 20th birthday, I'd moved out to Thailand, moved to Koh Samui, lived in a sick-ass villa with the boys, dropped everything, just booked the plane ticket there. Lived there for 3 months, started training Muay Thai, and really just living life on my own terms. That was my first real taste of living life on my own terms. And I think every young guy needs to experience this. I think we can all remember as a kid, right? When we wanted to be an adult, when we were waiting for the moment we turn 18 and we can start being an adult and we can move out, we can have our own house, we can make our own rules, right? And then the time comes when you actually become 18 and you actually have grown up, and you've got responsibilities, and it's a lot harder than it's made out to be. It's a lot more, intimidating. It's a lot more stressful than it's made out to be, how you painted it in your mind, right? But apart from that, I think one of the biggest things that moving out at 19 has helped me do has placed pressure on my shoulders. And what I mean by placing pressure on my shoulders is obviously when you move out, you have more of these responsibilities. And I was only 19 at the time. Most people, grown-ups included too, people who are much older than I was, 23, 24, 25, 26. You've even got 30-year-olds who are still living with their parents. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming them. That's not what I'm here to do in this video. But each to their own, right? I feel like when I moved out at 19, that told me and that taught me to take complete responsibility for my life. Because any F up, anything that I did good, my achievements and my losses, they all fell directly on me. I had no one else to blame. As far as Thailand, for example, when I was living with my boys, I had no one else to blame but me. Even if I blamed or one of my housemates did something, yes, I could blame them, but at the same time, that's just not in my character, all right? When I came to Philippines and I moved in my own place, I had no one else to blame because I'm solo now. I'm here in the Philippines now, I live solo, I live alone. And my friends live in their own separate homes or condos or properties, right? So I got literally no one else to blame but me. So if I F up, it's on me, I have to take care of it. That teaches me responsibility. That also teaches me how to have a higher stress tolerance. And that's super important in this day and age. If you have a high stress tolerance, in an era where most people they're smooth brained, the smallest amount of stress will get to them and they'll crumble and they'll fall. If you have a high stress tolerance, that's gonna set you apart so much. Now some tips for you guys who actually want to make the move, you want to leave your parents' house, you want to start making a name for yourself, and you want to start making your own path, you want to start living independently. So I want to give you some couple tips. So one of my biggest tips I can give you is move to a country where it's cheaper. Places like Southeast Asia, places like South America. In the West, rent is very expensive nowadays, especially if you're young. I'm not saying use this as a cope to not make as much money as you should be and to settle. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is you're going to grow a lot faster if you put yourself in an environment where you're conducive to growth, where you're going to grow the fastest. So you can get to that income level that you desire anyway. And then you can upgrade your life as you go along. So it's more of a chess move than a cope. Because for example, what I could have done was I could have stayed at home in the UK, waited till I got like a lot of income per month and then make the move. But think about how many years that I'd miss out on doing that. How much wisdom and experience that I'd miss out on doing that. How much lessons and failures that I'd miss out on by choosing to stay in an environment that I'm comfortable in, or I'm not facing any challenges in, or I'm not growing in, aka my room back at home, all right? So I'm glad that I made the move out somewhere, and I learned to, it's almost like a training ground. It's almost like pre-training. It's like a free trial, almost. Basically training. So by moving out to a place where it's a bit cheaper, it's a bit more affordable, but you're living a good quality of life, then that's like the perfect training ground for you to grow and develop as a person. So for example, to put it into examples, you can start by moving to Thailand, start by moving to Philippines, move to Vietnam, move to Argentina, move to Mexico, move to Colombia, move somewhere where, maybe even parts of Eastern Europe, if that's more your vibe, where it's not so expensive to live, and you still moved out, but it's not as expensive as you would if you were in like London, for example, Miami, Dubai, all these places, okay? Hong Kong, Singapore. First thing is move to a place that's more affordable, but you're still gonna learn the lessons and you're still gonna grow. Thailand's a great example if you don't know where to start. Why? Hot weather, good food, friendly locals, training Muay Thai, much cheaper as well. Plenty of reasons, and a lot of successful people or a lot of digital nomads go there as well. Places like Bali as well is a good example. Philippines is a good example. Vietnam is a good example. So you're more likely to run into like-minded people, and that's just gonna help you grow. You're gonna build your connections, you're gonna get better business ideas, so on and so forth, okay? The second tip I can give you is live with like-minded people. So instead of living on your own, I know I just said earlier, I live on my own, but in Thailand, I split the rent between 2 other guys. So it's 3 of us. We lived in a Sekas villa that we found online through a realtor. Originally saw on Airbnb, but managed to find a realtor to help us secure that. And it was a 3-bed or a 4-bed, I can't remember. I think it was a 3-bedroom, and I brought 2 other guys with me, so it was 3 of us. And we were splitting the rent in between us 3. So if you think about it, we were only paying, so what would have normally been like a $3,000 a month villa, not including expenses, it's now cut down to just $1,000 between each of us. And that really isn't a lot. When you put it into that perspective, it makes the goal so much more achievable. It makes things so much more motivated, because if you think about it, if you're living at that kind of place, and if you want to check out the villa that we lived in for 3 months, go to my Instagram. But if you think about it, if you're able to live in a place like that just by splitting the rent amongst your boys or your crew, then that's even more motivation to move out. Go do it. Find other people who are on the same path as you, who are actually serious about it, you know? A lot of people talk, but they're not serious about making the move. So it's lucky I found 2 other guys who are very serious, split the rent, lived in Thailand for 3 months, lived in paradise. So I suggest also, what would make it easier for you is that when you move to these places, get a nice place, because that's gonna inspire you, that's gonna get ideas flowing, it's gonna motivate you a lot. Whatever it is your dream home is, maybe it's a villa, maybe it's a nice high-rise condo, and then you find a couple other friends, maybe another friend, 2 friends, 3 friends, 4 friends, however many you want to split it between, however big you want the place to be, and then just split the rent between you guys. So now something that would have been very, very expensive to live by yourself in is not so expensive now. It's more manageable, okay? Plus, you're in that environment when you got your crew with you. Instead of being by yourself and just isolating yourself all day, you're with your boys, you're with your friends, you're with your crew, your clique. And then you guys are ideally doing the same thing as each other. You're building businesses, you're on the same path. You guys, you know, I don't need to go into power of network because that's so self-explanatory, it's so overplayed, but you get my point. So number 2 is split the rent between a couple friends and just make the move, all right? So tip number 3 I can give you is get a remote income. So make money online. Because it's one thing to work a job, right? It's one thing to work a job, stack up some savings, make the move, travel around for a bit, but then now you're just living off your savings. You're kind of just living on a ticking time bomb, so to speak. And before you know it, you've blown through your savings and you're forced to go back to work, all right? So that's one thing. It's not the best way to live. I'm sure you don't want to live like that, right? Now, another thing is when you can make money on the go, is when you can actually make your income and it's not dependent on showing up to an office. It's not dependent on a certain schedule. It's not dependent on the location that you're in, but you're still making money. You're making money on the go. You're making money while you're traveling, while you've moved out, no matter where you are in the world. So that's gonna be super, super, super valuable for you. So one of the skills that I picked up is appointment setting. I know some people, they also talk about remote sales, they talk about high ticket sales. And that, in my opinion, right now is the best way to make remote money online. Sure, you can do things like drop shipping, you can run your own business, you can do Amazon FBA, you can do affiliate marketing, you can do whatever, right? Whatever business model is floating around nowadays, you can do real estate. They all work. I just think right now, if you're watching this and you were at a similar place that I was at 19, you probably most likely don't have much experience, much business experience. And you probably, I'm not saying you can't handle the stress of running a business, but wouldn't it just be easier at your point right now? And this is what I tell myself, is it's much better if you just focus on one skill or a couple skills and stacking them instead of having to run an entire operation of a business where you're wearing different hats, you don't have much experience behind you, so you're kind of just figuring it out. So the smarter thing to do for most 19-year-olds is to just focus on 1 or 2 skills max, get extremely good at that, become a value, and then make income while you're learning that skill and not having to focus on running a whole business, all right? So remote appointment setting, so something called a remote appointment setting, is going to fit into that. Something called high ticket sales is going to fit into that. So if you look in the links in my description, shameless plug, if you look in the links in my description, I have not a free group, I have a group, school community of people wanting to get into remote settings. So it's only $50 per month, you go check it out. But if you want to work one-on-one with me, link is in the description, where I literally just big brother you from where I was to where I am now, what I know currently about setting, getting you placed in an offer, learning the things needed to become a successful appointment setter, making money remotely, all that good stuff, just by sending and replying to DMs. If you're interested in that, link in the description. But if you want to do more research, go through my YouTube channel. It's no pressure. Links in the description if you want to learn further. But number 3 is make a remote income online instead of having to rely on savings from a job and then having to force yourself to go back there just to keep sustaining your lifestyle. All right, so those are the 3 tips. Those are some of my thoughts since moving out at 19. I hope it helps. I want you guys to know, if you're watching this and you're still stuck where you are and you're not in a position where you want to be, let's say you're still going to uni, school, you're working a job, you're working 2 jobs, you're not happy, you're unsatisfied, just know that a lot can change in a very short amount of time. You just have to put your head down. I know it's cliche, but put your head down, guys. Stay focused. Find something that works. Go all in on it. Apply the 3 tips that I mentioned. Find like-minded people who want to do the same thing as you. And yeah, just stay focused, because 6 to 12 months, if you actually just put your head down and commit, and you believe in yourself that you can make it out, there's no reason why you can't achieve the goals that you have. There's no reason why you can't just book a plane ticket, fly across the other side of the world to Thailand, and start living the life that I lived, for example. Or going to South America, eating unlimited steaks and training MMA or whatever. That's today's video. I hope it helps. I hope that was a big motivation for you. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow my Instagram for more if you want to check out the behind the scenes. But other than that, that was my experience moving out at 19. Some tips as well to help you out. Everyone should do it. Go ahead and do it. Pull the trigger. Do it even if you don't feel ready. But yeah, guys, hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one.